Okay. Hello, everybody. It is your baby boomer, Kitty Lane from the Peninsula in Virginia, back with another Create and Relate. I do apologize for being late. I so apologize for being late. Um, I think my volume is down. Whoops. Okay, let's try this again. Um, there we go. Volume is down. I can get you all situated. It should say I have one waiting because the TV is on. Y'all, it's another day of not being organized. And I do apologize. I apologize. Girl, believe me, I do. I apologize. So, first of all, welcome in the den. I am so glad that you're here. Forgive me for being washed out by the light in my background. It is very sunny outside today. And not only is it sunny, the sun is casting off of the little 3.5 inches of snow that we got. Y'all get to see me work my magic again. Hey, y'all. Hello, BB. How are you? I'm so glad you're here. Oh, that took a lot, guys. That took a lot. For you all that don't know, I took a real nasty fall Saturday. I don't know if you can see this part of my bed right here. It's wood. It is a sleigh bed, and it's a sturdy sleigh bed. Ask me how I know. Because I fell and it caught me. And it did not let me fall any further. I'm just saying. It did not give any. I think I broke a tooth. I have a muscle even when I'm not flexing. I have a bruise on the side here. It's minimal. My spine hurts. The doctor said that's to be expected. So don't worry. And I twisted my right knee as if I had nothing better to do. Duh. But I'm going to be okay. My doctor is through televisits keeping an eye on me. I had one this morning. I also had my therapy session today. Um, Another breakthrough. Um, yeah. So, question: how about we wet our whistle? What are we sipping on today, guys? Y'all know I got my 20 ounces of espresso. I did not do the salt and the vanilla today because I needed the bite. I have 10 ounces of sweet creamery and 8 ounces today of caramel macchiato. And BB, I will be okay. I'm a tough cookie. I am. I'm tougher than the overcooked chocolate chip cookies my daughter did the other day. But it's okay. Y'all, I have been super busy. I cannot get around the way I normally do. So there's something that I misplaced that I really wanted to show you all. I told you all, you know, that we do our weekly whips and our weekly FOs today. So I wanted to show you what I had made. I cannot show you one of my FOs because I have misplaced it and I need to find it because it is for a very special individual. It's blue. I made a doggy jacket, y'all. I did. And it's so cute. I also completed my first pillow. This was what I meant to show you all last week. And I was talking so much that I actually forgot it. But this is the first pillow that I completed. If you remember, I told you all you could fill your pillows with anything. I had 3 of those little clear shoe boxes around here, absolutely full, like overfilled with granny squares that I wouldn't give to my worst enemy because they were real, y'all, they were piece granny squares. I mean, like half rows undone and stuff like that. So that's what I used to stuff my pillow. And the one you saw me making last week was this one. So I made 2 pillows representing the first 2 weeks of December. This one is 6 1/4 inches. It's right at that 6 inch. It's 6. Y'all know what I'm saying. This one is 6.5 by 9. So I'm keeping up with my, they must be at least 6 inches. Yeah, BB. And what I had done, I had even started putting my scraps, the ends that I wove in, I started putting them in a bowl. And every now and then I'd go in that bowl and just cut them up really fine. You can use that as stuffing as well. It works. I'm telling you, it really works. So, also, I told you all that I had some ideas for um, blankets coming up for next year. So, from this book that I got on yesterday, and I did do a video for this. Joan can tell you we're having some internet issues. I didn't even think I was going to be able to do this live today because my internet was out. I got babies doing homework, internet out. But in going through this book, I did happen to find a few squares that caught my interest. Of course, you have your single crochet, your half double crochet, the double crochet, and your treble crochet squares. You have your circle that you work into a square. And then you come into the real pretty thing. So you have a V-stitch square here. You also have the shell stitch square. The shell stitch square kind of caught my interest a little bit, but this one really did. The cluster stitch square, that one caught my interest. And then you have the bobble stitch square. You know that one caught me. And I was like, I wonder if I could do my baby in a bundle and turn it into a square. We shall see. So this one is the puff stitch square. The basket weave square. The woven stitch square. The traditional granny square. The wagon wheel square. I really like this one. The modified granny square. And that's what it looks like worked up. So I guess you know I like this one. I can tell you that I did modify this a little more. It says modified in the book. Oh, yep, I get it. But I did modify it a little more. And then you have the cluster cross, which I've seen blankets made into this. This is one that I would make into a 12-inch square for those who wanted to make the blanket for the year. So this would definitely be 1 month. I'm working on this one, the modified granny square, to see if I can continue that pattern out and make it so that it can be turned into a 12-inch one as well. I'm not showing you the ones that are not squares. The circles in a square. That's something like what I've been doing, but I didn't do it the way it was done here in the book. I did mine as if it were amigurumi. Aren't y'all proud of me? I have learned to say that word flawlessly, amigurumi, and I don't stutter anymore. So proud of me. Hello, Ellie. How are you? I am so happy you're here. Thank you. Thank you. I'll try to keep it down a little bit too, because I get excited when y'all come in. But then the open fan square. This one I was kind of drawn to as well. I like the holy and lacy type squares. They more appeal to me. Now, guys, this one I'm really gonna have to see about how to turn this one into a 12-inch square. This one's called the Fisherman's Ring. Uh, but I have to try it first because I don't want to pick anything that's going to be too hard for someone to do. I'm working on trying to secure equipment so that I can record better and that I can, show you all better, better tutorials or better crochet alongs, and we can do these together. The honeycomb stitch square is another one that I have fallen in love with. And we will not be doing this one, and that's the Catherine's will. And I can tell you right now that one will not be done. She doesn't even say her name right. Those of you who don't know, that is my name. My name is Catherine, and I get mad at everybody who spells their name right like that and don't pronounce it Catherine, because that's how it's spelled actually. Catherine has no E between the H and the R, and it generally ends with a vowel, not an E. Catherine or Catherine ends with an E. Catherine has the E in the middle, and the Catherine does not. I'm starting the squares in January. I want to give everybody time to get through the holiday. When we make the smaller squares, what I'm going to do is introduce, I said 4 to 6 squares. I'm thinking about peeling back on that number a little bit, make it maybe 3 or 4 squares for the month. And I'll show, um, the first Saturday, I'll show a square. Then the first Tuesday, another square. And the first Thursday, another square. And that way you can work on those throughout the month. My suggestion at that point is 30 squares for the month. And that way the book is on Amazon. But and I'm gonna try to see if I can go back to my last live and pull the link up for you for the book because I had it there. But 30 squares make it 5 by 6. And I'm thinking when you do the Lori, I'm thinking when you do the squares, this one is 7 inches. So if you do a 5 by 6, you'll have a 35 by 42. And that's without the border or whatever means you choose to connect them. And I'm figuring with 3 squares, you can mix them up however you'd like, whatever colors you'd like. And then the ones that I plan on turning into 12-inch squares, guys, let me show you how much research I have been doing. Not only did I look in the book to see how many 12-inch squares I could come up with, I have been online looking for 12-inch squares, okay? Those that can be pulled down to 3-inch, I mean, to smaller squares. Yes, but I want to try them before I introduce them to you because I don't want to give anybody anything really hard. I don't care what your level of crochet is. You could be a teacher of crochet. I don't want to give you anything hard, complicated, or difficult because there are times in our life when we just need something easy. So that's my focus, and that's why I'm going through first. Are these squares the pattern of your choice or ours? The squares I'm choosing. I'm choosing the squares, and I will present the squares. Now, the thing of it is, when I present those squares at the beginning of the month, you can use one of them, you can use two of them, or you can use all of them. It doesn't matter. I'm just going to be giving you different options for squares. And of course, we're going to have the simple squares like the single crochet square, the half double crochet square, the triple crochet square, the double crochet square. We're going to have the moss stitch square. We're going to have different types of squares, the circles into squares, all of that. We're going to have all of that, and we'll be able to put these together however we choose. But I want to spread it out so that these are simply, I know a lot of you are into the luck of the draw, and I don't want to take away from that at all. I would love to participate in that more, but I just don't have the postage. I love to crochet, and I show that in the blankets and things that I make. And I do donate the blankets that in a way, I give the blankets away because I hang them on the fence and let the homeless community take them. And that's because I can't afford the postage. I don't have it. I'm on a fixed income, but I love to crochet, and I'm not going to let that stop me or deter me from crocheting. So yes, I am going to find these squares and I'm going to present them at the beginning of each month. Well, hopefully within the first week of each month, I'll be presenting the squares to you. I'm going to try to have them out there in separate little videos, and I'm going to try to conquer at least one of them in the lives as we go. That's why I said I'll be presenting them in the lives. But I'm going to show the squares, like I said, in separate little videos, and I'll, just go over, brush up again in the live. So you have them. So yeah, we have quite a list, and this is only part of them. This is only part of them. Your girl is really looking, so we'll have something to do. Now, the way it works, like I said, I will present the squares, 3 or 4, at the beginning of the month. You can use 1, 2, 3, or all 4 in your blanket. My suggestion is I use the 6.0 J hook. I'm using the Susan Bates. And these squares, this square ended up being, and I'm not using very tight tension, but this square has ended up being 7 inches. So the way I looked at it, 30 squares, 5 inches across, 5 squares across, 6 squares down is a 35 by 42 blanket or throw, and then you add your border. And I'm gonna show you, as we get there, some means for a border. But I'm also gonna send you to Juan the Yarn Addict's border playlist because he's doing a border playlist. I think it's absolutely outstanding. I am using 4 worsted weight yarn. I would imagine the larger the yarn, the larger hook size you need, of course, and it's going to give you a bigger square. So you might not have to make as many squares if you use the bigger ones. I'm just giving you the pattern. Now, if we do the one blanket for the year, if you choose to go along with that pattern, then that's where the 12-inch square comes in. And each month, you're going to make a 12-inch square. And that square will also come out at the beginning of the month. So by the end of the year, you will have your 12 squares. It'll be just a matter of putting them together and bordering them. I'm also going to go back and find Michelle's video on the putting the squares together. My mind went blank. I was on a roll and doing good, and my mind said bloop. So yes, I'm gonna go back and find those for you. I might sneak them in another video. I recorded 2 videos yesterday and edited them, and tried to get them out. And they're still uploading. Yes, it was the unboxing or unenveloping of this book. I showed that to you in the video, and it's still circling. I guess it wanted to travel around the world before it got to you. And then there's your ASL video. It's coming out as well. Yes, I had those videos. Now, I told you all that I had a meeting set up for Sunday. That meeting never happened. The person never showed up. Um, I know some of you probably think, well, you just fell Saturday night. That had nothing to do with it. All I had to do was sit and learn. But I can't sit and learn from someone who doesn't show up. So it is what it is. But I understand that things happen. You know, it did snow. Yeah. I don't know how many of you saw it, but it's a winter wonderland out there. And a lot of people don't feel comfortable driving in that. I know at 2:30 this morning they were shoveling our parking lot. I'm sure I'm not the only one that felt like dismantling that machine. 2:38 in the morning? Seriously? Are you serious right now? Yes, your sister girl was not happy. Not happy at all. Okay, so this brings me to over here. More notebooks. My whips for the week. So 4 have been completed. The doggy sweater, the rainbow pillow, the blue pillow, and it's heavy. We do shut down with the trash. That's why the kids are home. That's exactly why they're home. Can't you see my hair sticking all over the place? That's them. Yes, guys, this is heavy. This is real heavy. It is big and heavy, and it's 4 strands. And whereas I said I was going to make a second one, mm, mm, no, 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 guys, I did not start a second one. I did not. I know I said they could use it as a mat. They could, yeah, and they can. They can use it for all of this. But this is heavy. That is real heavy. However, comma, what I did start was a 3 strand. And here again, I went from circle to square. I folded it up so it's not cooperating. But I went from circle to square. Got a little bit of a design going on up in here. But I have that one going. Um, the purple sweater, I pulled it out to work on it today. And just so John can see and see how close it is, it's right here. What I'm planning on doing today is adding my ribbon around the bottom, my ribbing around the bottom, around here. That's what I'm planning on doing today. And then it's just a matter of doing the facing and the neck. But that is on today's agenda. I am also going to touch my chocolate Skittles. Chocolate Skittles? What is up with the name Chocolate Skittles? Well, the variegated yarn that I'm using is that rainbow color, that light rainbow color that Temu has. And I started with black and then a dark brown, a medium brown, a light kind of tan. And I was like, that might be my Frappuccino blanket right there. Because I'm using all of the colors that I wanted to use in that blanket. Not saying that one won't get done. It's just going to be a little bit later. So I am working on that. I visited this again last night until I got to another color change. Y'all, I'm telling you, the black and white blanket. It's not black and white. It's the black Skittles. I got the chocolate Skittles and the black Skittles. This one is Nikki and Nikki's on her way home from Tennessee. And I don't have that much more to do with this one. And it's not due until Christmas. So I got some days. I think we got 16 days. So yeah, I'm still working on that one. And this one, I get excited every time the color changes. So I am now down to these are my colors. I have that deep orange where it just was more like um, it's more like a deep peach. And then it kind of fades out into the watermelon and then the purple. Well, yeah, the purple and then the grape. And then it's like a rusty grape. And then it goes into the greens from there. So I got quite a lot left to work with, or quite a lot of color changes left to see. What is this? And why is it here? It's supposed to be back here. Okay. So yeah, and being that I have all of my hooks now right here by me, I have elemental no. I have my J, my K, my L, and my N. I have those hooks that I'm working on. And y'all, there's something else that I picked up today that I started working on. I made this blanket. This is my Tunisian blanket that I made for myself a few years ago. I was making blankets for all of the teachers. This is the back side of it. Let me show you the front side. Okay, so I was making blankets for all the teachers that got my babies on the bus at school because we used to drive. No, it didn't come home. It's still out there in the street being sassy. So I went and bought another one and did. Let it stay out there. But she already know. I already told her. Better have my money when she get here. I know I'm a mess. I'm sorry. But yes, this is the Tunisian blanket that I made for myself. I don't know what stitch I used. I was playing around with it and got something that was comfortable and not real thick and real heavy. And then I decided I was going to crochet around it. Well, I only got to the peach when I was crocheting around it, all single crochet. And it's like a tad bit too short, just a tad, but it's perfect for what I use it for. I only cover up my, like from the neck to my knees. As long as that's covered, I'm fine. Yeah, I don't need my feet covered. I don't want my head covered. That's too hot. You know, those are the points where your heat escapes your body the most, your head and your feet. So all the heat that this produces being on the mid portion of my body, it needs to go out somewhere. So I can't cover it up. I got to give it an escape route or a couple. Thank you so much. Thank you. So what I decided today in picking it back up is that I'm actually going to make the border just a little bit wider. So I started adding the red, and all I'm doing is picking up yarn, throwing it on. This is mine. It's not anybody else's. I don't even let my grandkids use this one when they come in the room, and they get everything that's grandma's. They can't have this one. Mm-mm. This was me playing around with Tunisian stitches or with a Tunisian stitch. Yo, look at that. And like I said, please, 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 please don't ask me what I did. I don't know. I have no idea. I have no earthly idea, but it's pretty. It is real pretty. And I made a whole blanket with that. I did. So, yeah. In the meantime, in between time, we're going to add some flavor to the outside of this blanket and make it long enough that when it gets colder, notice I didn't say if, I said when. When it gets colder, I'll be able to tuck this under my feet when I have to and pull it up to my chin. So this is what I have been throwing stitches in today. But I'm this is all the red I have left. And what was I? And I just went around three sides. So it has to be this one. This is all I have left to do in adding the red. That's it. And then I'll be done with the red. I will re-roll this because it's kind of, yeah, I don't want to shake it too much because it'll tangle up if you say it too loud. It'll tangle up if you say it too loud. So I'm going to whisper and say, I'll roll this up. I'll roll that up when I finish. About 30, maybe 40 more stitches. Yeah, about 30 more. Ooh. I am so sorry, y'all. Please forgive me. Please, 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 please. Oh, I need to do another crochet with Kitty. I do. So you see the whips that I plan to be working on this week. I think I showed you. I have y'all, and I will be working on the baby tendril blanket. It is sitting under something right now. I don't feel like moving a whole lot of stuff. I am so sorry. I'm sorry, y'all. But when it gets finished, I think you'll appreciate it a lot more when you see the finished product. You'll be like, just like I am, like, oh, wow. Excuse me, this is medicine. And no, it's not pain medicine. I still take my happy pills. And my happy pills say, I want you to stay happy. So what we're going to do is sleep for about an hour. We're coming up on that time. Oh, my goodness. Now, my baby Esther blanket, I put it aside for a little while. And the reason I put it aside is because it was no longer bringing me joy. I don't know if I made something more complicated than it needed to be, or I just didn't put the right combination of things together. But this this is what we have so far. And I kind of left it right there. Not kind of, I did. I left it right there. And like I said, it stopped bringing me joy. So I stopped giving it attention. I don't know if it's that it's not meant for me to interpret her story and tell it, or if I'm not giving it the right emphasis and justice, or what it is, because I'm very passionate about her story. But I don't know, maybe it's just not my call to do it. Maybe I'm missing facts. Maybe I don't know what it is, but the blanket was no longer bringing me joy. So what I'm seeing now is scarves and hats. That's what I'm seeing now. Maybe another mat for a child to sit on or play on. Um, Maybe another mat like blanket. Excuse me, but it'll be 3 ply, not 4. I learned my lesson and did. Yes, I did. Umpa, I do have two more things I can show you all, I think. Please bring me those two hats, the rainbow and the orange. And you're going to say, Kitty, you showed us the orange one. Yeah, kind of, sort of. My daughter was like, I want one more. Huh? I am. Her daughter was like, I want one more round on the orange, and then it'll be perfect. So we put one more round on the orange. And I'm surprised she didn't wear it today. I mean, I know why she didn't, because she wore another one. She's coming in the afternoons and she's like, oh, Mom, can I get one in this color? How much did you say they were? Babe, I'm not charging you, because every time you come home, you bring another hat for me to make. Not only hers, but her clients see them and they want one too. They're like, oh my God, I want one of those. I want the really, really deep ruffles. That's the one she wore today, the one with the real deep, thick ruffles in it. So she tells them how much it is and about how long it'll take me. She doesn't, and I love her for this. She never tells them how long it takes me to make the hat, because she never knows what I have on the hook or what I'm working on. So she'll tell people, I have her trained so well. She'll tell people when it comes to the hats, look, you got to give her at least a week. When it comes to the blankets, it's like, look, you got to give her at least a month. They have no idea that I can do a ruffle hat in 3 hours, or one of these in an hour and 15 minutes, or, depending on the beanies. A good quick beanie can be done in like 45 minutes. And it's not rushing. It's not, please don't think I'm tooting my horn. I'm just saying that when things like that happen, and this time of season when I'm hit with those sporadic orders, I need quick things that I can do. Um, and those things are my go-tos. And they work really well because it's a way to, you know, make a little bit of yarn money. And then offer a quality product, because they don't know that it doesn't take that long. I am still losing, I am gingerly losing this nail that was going into my nail bed oh gosh. I got it off. I got it off, y'all. I got it off. Woo! And it did not go across the top of my nail bed. That was my fear. I don't even care about being a nail short. I stopped counting, sis. I stopped counting. I smoked my last cigarette on the 20, I think it was the 27th. It was either the 27th or 28th of November. And I have not smoked since. Y'all, please don't look for that to be permanent. Please, please, please. I mean, I'm just being honest. Y'all know me by now, and y'all know I keep it real. but please don't look for that to be permanent. I have a um what do you call that? A procedure coming up on the 29th of December that involves my toenail. I'm having a third of my big toenail on my left foot removed. And the blood vessels down there are very tiny but plentiful. And smoking can constrict those blood vessels and cause the healing to take much longer than need be. So it was first recommended by my doctor that I not smoke 2 weeks prior and 2 weeks after. And I said, okay. And I guess he thought I was being sarcastic when I just said, okay. So he says, well, it would really be beneficial if you could, like 30 days before and 30 days after. And I said, okay. He said, you act like that doesn't bother you. I'm like, look, when I get to the point that I don't like the taste of the smoke in my mouth, I will quit anyway. Sometimes it's up to 5 years. Sometimes it's a couple of years. Sometimes it's a couple of weeks. It just depends on where the stress level is. And if you walk, I'm not even going to give y'all a mile in my shoes. If you walk a millimeter in my shoes, you would understand why I smoke. It is my vice. It is my supplement to my happy pill. People say, well, just take deep breaths. When I do that, it's like huffing being angry. Like, at that point, I find myself seething. Mm-mm, mm-mm. No, just do the, yeah, and I'm okay. Yep, I'm okay after that. Yep. Okay, when you had to have your heart surgery, she was able to quit. Okay, hold on, let me read that. Hugs and prayers will be. Yes, you can dream. You can dream. My mom struggled with smoking. She would quit for a couple of years, start up. But when you had to have heart surgery, she was able to quit permanently, but it was difficult always. It has never been difficult for me, Lori. When I say I'm done until something stresses me. And like I said, it's been various points where it's been 2 years, a year, 5 years. I quit 5 years, 3 times in my life. So I know that I did 3 times at 5 years, 1 time at 4 years, 2 times at 3 years. So far that's 25 years. Did a couple of times for 2 years. Each time I was pregnant, I quit. So I've spent most of my adult life smoke free, most of it. But yeah, I smoke for the same reason we all crochet. Yeah, it's never been a struggle for me when I say, you know what, that's it, I'm done. Case in point. So the last time I bought a carton, I told myself, I know I have to quit. I'm going to stretch this carton and make it last until the 28th or 29th of November. And that's why I said I don't remember it was the 27th or the 28th, because I know the day before my ending date was when I actually smoked the last cigarette. And then on December 1st, excuse me, I went into the store. Excuse me. I went into the store to get a Red Bull, and my daughter's manager calls me mama and realized that the next day was my birthday. So, as a gift, he got me a pack of cigarettes. That pack of cigarettes is still in the bag on my scooter, unopened. So it's not the struggle of having them around. It's that it's a mind thing. It's just like my nails. I never knew. Now I had it out. Whew, y'all, I wish I had pictures. I was the worst nail biter. I'm talking biting my nails back to the cuticles. That's what I used to do. When I left my second husband, I left him on August 15th, 2009. Never bit my nails again. Never bit my nails again. And I filed them down a lot. I used to get the acrylic nails. I used to do the press on nails at one point. But I got to the point, it was like, you know what, that's extra money. I don't have it like that. So just don't bite them. I don't have an addictive personality, so to speak, partly because I'm so scatterbrained. I am ADHD, but I'm also OCD, and I also suffer from PTSD and anxiety disorder. And when I micro focus on something, it'll last for a little while and then it goes away. So it's never really been, when I was coming up, the nail biting was habitual. I would do it in my sleep. If I were to say I had a habit now, definitely crocheting. Because and I still do. I do it in my sleep. My daughter has to come in sometimes and take everything away from me because I am literally snoring and crocheting. It'll be all jacked up and wrong. Don't get me wrong. It will. Sometimes I get lucky and do it right. But most of the time it's so distorted. And I have crocheted on it for so long that I have quite a lot to frog. But yes, I'm notorious for doing it in my sleep. And when I wake up in the morning, I'm proud of myself because here lately I've been cleaning off my bed to go to sleep. But I still have to sleep with yarn and a hook in my bed because I wake up in the morning. That's the first thing I grab. That's part of my morning meditation. Crocheting that first 100 stitches. So if that's not habitual, I don't know what is. Yes, but it's that serious. But when it comes to like me smoking the cigarettes, like I said, I know that I could mess my whole healing up by smoking. So I don't want to do that. I want the pain to stop in my toe, and it's not an ingrown toenail. I think that's what baffles me the most. It's an excess growth of skin. It's fighting for position with my toenail, and it's causing excruciating pain. So the plan is to relieve the area of the toenail and see if we can let the skin find out, hey, you're not supposed to be here. Stop fighting something. Maybe if we take that element away and say, hey, you don't have to fight with this. It's not here now. You calm down. So that's the purpose for removing a third of the toenail. But yeah, yeah. Lori, whew, we got stories. Girlfriend, we got stories. I can tell you some stories with me and my crocheting. I can tell you about a trip to Florida. Oh my goodness. I was sitting in the back seat between my kids. My oldest daughter was in the front seat. My son and my baby girl were in the back seat. Only reason we had them sitting on the outside was so I could sit with my arms around them until they went to sleep. Once they went to sleep, I pulled my crocheting out the bag. I've been doing that for years too, taking my crocheting with me. everywhere. So I pull my crocheting out of the bag and I get to crocheting, and these two are snoring in my ears in succession, not synchronized, but I'm hearing, and then on the other side it's, and I'm hearing this, and I'm trying to make a tune out of it in my head to the point that I start falling asleep. And tell me how I made a back and forth blanket into a rectangular blanket, because I just kept going as long as there was fabric between my fingers. And I just kept crocheting. And I had my head laid back. And my mom laughed at me for a good 45 minutes. Yeah. Until she decided to stop. And I woke up and I looked at what I had done. I was like, she said, I laughed. She said, I think that's why I had to stop, because I couldn't stand you going any further. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. When I first worked for um, the hospital in environmental services, they had just, this is over in Portsmouth where I used to live, they had just opened the heart center, and never knew that I would be a patient there. I was a patient there when I got my pacemaker defibrillator, which happened to be 3 years. Nope, it was 6 years after, because I worked there in 2008 and I got this in 2014 or 2015. Anyway, it was in 2008 when I worked there, and I was in environmental services, and they had just opened the Heart Wing, and I was like, wow, the rooms are really, really, really nice in the Heart Wing. I mean, it's like little miniature bedrooms. You got two of your little nightstands instead of one. You have two chairs in your room. One is an all out recliner, not that little hard plastic thing. I'm talking nice and plush. Your bed is wider than the normal gurney that they have in the room. It's wider than the beds that they have in all the other rooms. But it gives you, it was more along the lines of the what is it? The sleep number bed. It it was a little different from the regular hospital bed in that you had more functionability. The shower was amazing. Each room had their own shower. Everything was just really, really, really nice. So, crocheter, brain ticking, they only had 12 of these rooms. So I was like, you know what? In 3 months, I can make them 12 blankets. I can do that. So I got with the hospital administrator and asked her if it was okay that I could do the blankets. I didn't really want to get paid for them. All I asked is that they supply yarn. If my yarn supply started running low, she was like, well, we never know if it's going to be a male or a female. I'm like, well, I wouldn't just make 12. I'd make a supply, but I'm saying in 3 months, I know I can make 12. And you're talking about opening the unit in 3 months' time. So I could have those blankets ready and just continue to crochet and give them over to you. So she agreed. They did decide to pay me for the blankets. So that was a positive thing. I don't remember how many blankets I made, but y'all, if you knew how many blankets I had to frog, because I found myself getting off work from my other job, sitting up at night trying to crochet these blankets like this. I mean, hands just going. My mom laughed at me so many nights. She really, really did. But yes, I do crochet in my sleep. I talk to my crocheting. It is my friend. It is my significant other, because I get to hug it and I get to pour all of my love into it. And then sometimes I pass it off to another person so they can feel the love too. Okay, y'all, real quick before we go, seriously. One of the videos that I recorded that's taking its time uploading is the ASL video. And what I have done was gone back over the ASL alphabet. The reason I've done this is because your phrase that's going to be coming up next week will require that you do some finger spelling. So I will go over the alphabet a couple of times before we call it a day. Simply A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. Remember, kickstand out. K, L, M, N, O, P. Kickstand down. Kickstand out. K. Put it down. P. P, Q, R. I can't cross those fingers very well. S, T, U, V, W, X, look it, Y, Z. Okay, one more time, a little faster. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. All right. Practice, practice, practice. Don't forget to do it in the mirror. Record yourself doing it. Look at it several times throughout the day. Don't forget to check out your word of the week on Sundays. And I will see you all here again on Thursday at 12 o'clock Eastern Time. Thank each and every one of you for being here. Don't forget to like the video, share it, and subscribe if you haven't. Make sure you hit that notification bell with the dimples so that you'll always know when I'm dropping fresh new content. And as always, be bold, be brave, be beautiful, and behave. Don't forget Kitty Lane told you. Don't forget Kitty Lane loves you. So until we see each other again on these YouTube streets, peace out, everybody. Yay!